The rebel advance pushes the Syrian government into peril. After consecutively losing the strategic cities of Aleppo and Hama, President Bashar al-Assad's government faces the risk of further defeats amidst the rapid advances of rebel forces. On December 5, the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, HTS, rebels and their allies entered Hama, Syria's fourth largest city, taking full control with minimal resistance from government forces. Although Syria's defense minister described this as a tactical withdrawal, the fall of Hama deals another blow to Assad's government. Following the swift loss of Aleppo, another strategic city, less than a week prior, the rebels' consecutive conquests of Aleppo and Hama mark a new turning point in Syria's nearly 14-year-long civil war, which had appeared frozen until the recent large-scale rebel offensive in northern and central Syria last week. By controlling Hama, a city that guards the M5 highway, Syrian rebels can now better defend the territories they had previously captured in northern Syria, including Aleppo. This success also brings the rebels closer to Homs, located about 50 kilometers away. Homs serves as a strategic crossroads leading to Lebanon and Syria's western coastal region, areas of critical importance to both the Syrian government and its allies. Iran and Russia. Threats to government-controlled areas. In videos released from Hama on December 5, the rebels declared Homs as their next target. About 185 kilometers south of Homs along the M5 highway lies Damascus, the seat of Assad's power. If they continue advancing towards Homs at this pace and gain control of significant areas in the city, we might need to seriously consider the risks facing the Syrian government, said Dareen Khalifa, a senior advisor at the International Crisis Group in Brussels. Russia and Iran are working to support Assad in countering the rebel advances. Russian fighter jets have conducted numerous airstrikes on rebel-controlled areas, while Iran's foreign minister visited Damascus to pledge further assistance to the Syrian army. However, both of Assad's key allies are preoccupied with other pressing issues. Russia remains focused on its war in Ukraine ahead of U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration, during which he has promised to end conflicts swiftly, possibly by freezing hostilities. Meanwhile, Iran is grappling with conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon, as well as its ongoing tensions with Israel. Providing military support to Syria may force both Russia and Iran to make difficult choices across different battlegrounds. Hezbollah, an Iranian-backed armed group from Lebanon fighting alongside Assad's forces, has also suffered significant losses over the past year due to its conflict with Israel. Historical context and current challenges. Assad previously faced dire circumstances after the civil war erupted in 2011. Rebel groups, opposition forces, and even the Islamic State, approached Damascus, threatening to topple his government. In 2015, Russia launched a military intervention in Syria, conducting intense bombings on rebel targets and supplying critical resources to bolster Assad's army. Iran also deployed advisors to Syria, while Hezbollah sent elite combat units to fight on the ground. This support helped Assad's forces regain control of most of the country, confining rebels to a small area near Syria's northern border. The prolonged conflict turned Syria into a battlefield involving other nations' militaries, including those of the United States, Israel, and Turkey. Afterward, Russia scaled back its presence, leaving only garrisons to protect strategic bases in Latakia and Tartus. Meanwhile, Iran views Syria as both a symbol of its power projection abroad and a strategic foothold near its adversary, Israel. Recent developments. The recent offensive on Aleppo and Hama signifies the resurgence of rebels and opposition forces after nearly 8 years of limited activity in northwestern Syria. Despite their previous statements about reclaiming Aleppo, few anticipated the rebels would break through government defenses so swiftly. Apart from the military threat posed by the rebels, Assad is also contending with a severe economic crisis, leaving the country dependent on support from Russia and Iran. U.S. sanctions further weaken Syria's army and government. The rapid loss of Hama demonstrates the rebels' momentum, while Assad's forces seem to lack an effective strategy beyond retreating from key strongholds. The current challenge for Assad is to consolidate forces and defend the areas still under government control after a week of major setbacks. However, many observers remain skeptical of his ability to do so. It seems that the Syrian government forces are currently unable to counter the rebels effectively, said Gregory Waters, an analyst on Syrian military power at the Syrian Archive Research Organization.